Everybody else is going to join at some point, I'm sure. I'm not first in these. Where would you like to sit?
I don't care.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
Sure. There's a couple of these.
Yeah. So I was looking at the order of service, and it looks very Catholic.
Oh,
not having a significant amount of Protestant experience. You know, but I think the one thing everybody says about Catholics is the stand-up, sit-down, fight sort of.
yeah.
Sort of
They do that with Protestants too.
Do they?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a
So
lot
it's
of.
just Christian, and who knows? Maybe it's just religion in general.
Well, I think the whole idea is to keep people from falling asleep. Hi. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. If she's not here, if you could do it, that would be awesome. Okay. I don't know where Kathy is. There she is. She's doing her challenge class. Kathy Woody. She was up here a minute ago. She's right there.
I blew up her text so she can read.
Yeah, and then she disappeared.
It's just a lot of pressure to be up here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm done.
I'm Dennis. Nice to meet you. I sat right there.
I said,
Lori said, "No, you get to sit up here."
People got to take a look at you.
Who is that strange man?
Well, to be fair, my name is on the third line of the front page.
And we spelled it right this time. It's like, Lord, you didn't spell my name right.
Right, it wasn't your fault. I could tell that, it was the exact same mistake. You did it early enough that you were actually able to change it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, one more code. You want to, John? You're in charge. You're the bell right now.
Are you ready? Set, go?
Well, I would like it if Kathy would get up here, since she's.
Can't start without you.
I'm excused because I was meeting someone.
Good morning. My name is John DeGrieve, and I'm treasurer of this congregation. I want to welcome you to the service today. Unitarian Universalism encourages an open-ended search for meaning of life and a commitment to asking our values to shape our environment. We are a pluralistic religion that draws wisdom from many sources. We welcome all people into our beloved community of whatever age, race, class, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or religious background. We welcome especially those who are worshiping with us for the first time. Guests are welcome to participate in any activities of our community. Welcome team members are wearing green name badges and are ready to answer any questions you may have if you are a visitor or new to our congregation. Pastoral care team members are wearing yellow name badges and are able to talk with you if you are having life transitions or need assistance. We invite everyone to join us downstairs after service for coffee and snacks so that we can get to know each other better. Thank you for being with us today. Now I get to rotate around. Hi, I'm still John, but as treasurer of this organization, I have the privilege of saying what our pledge drive has reached as of Friday. As of Friday, our pledge drive is now $172,005. We still have a way to go, but we're closer than we were 3 weeks ago. The other thing that I want to remind everybody is that we're in the fourth quarter of this year, and we are a totally self-funded congregation, and we're short. So if you got a bonus in your tax return or want to start prepaying your pledge for next year, we could definitely use your money to help make it through June. And with that, let us begin. Thank you.
Leave that out. Hi, spotlight first. Spotlight. I think, yeah, spotlight first. I'm Lori McCullum, and I'm here to mention two things that are going to happen next week. Next week is our recognition of new members, of which we have at least 15. And after the service, please come downstairs for their celebratory cake and our spring vegetarian potluck. If you're so inclined, we would really appreciate you bringing a veggie dish to share. I'm sure, as you all know, reducing the meat in your diet and enjoying a few more vegetarian meals each week can reduce your personal carbon footprint and improve your health. The service today is by the Environmental Justice Team, so we're all about that. Next spotlight, I believe.
Oh, what a great day for a road trip. Get the car started. Driving to UU, but it feels a little lonely. You know what? I'm going to go to the Pace House. Mike, get in the car.
Oh, okay.
Get your luggage.
Got it.
All right, we're heading to UU.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a long road trip, isn't it?
Yeah, we can use some friends.
Yeah, I think
You know
so.
what? There's this person I work with. She said she's kind of interested in UU. Maybe we should drive by her house.
Yeah, that's
All
great.
right. Hey, Justine.
I'm coming.
We're heading to UU.
I'm hopping in.
We're going to tell you all about it on the way there. You know what? We got one extra seat back there. I'm gonna find there's this guy named John DeGrieve. I don't know. It seems like he's an okay guy. Maybe he'd want to come here.
Sure, why not?
All right. Hey, John. John, where are you at?
Bring your checkbook.
John. So, I think we should do a little surprise giveaway because I've got this bag. It's out in the hallway there. I got this bag of goodies. It'd be perfect for a road trip.
Yeah, you know, I think you're right. Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, that'd be
I don't
fun.
need it, but I'd like to give it away. So maybe we could give it away and have some fun with it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So, folks, now this is where I talk to the others, break the fourth wall. So we've got the bag out there, which we saw last week. If you're interested in bringing a friend, bring a coworker, someone who's interested, a neighbor, we got Monopoly money out there. So if you bring someone to church, put your name, well, Mike's filled his out, put your name, their name,
your phone number, and your email address.
and drop it in the little jar out there.
Yeah, this is road trip money. That's going to be for our road trip money.
And we'll draw out, denomination doesn't matter, just take some Monopoly money, denomination doesn't matter, drop it in, and we're gonna have a drawing in, I think the second week of June, and whichever name we pull out, we're gonna get that goodie bag. All right, folks, we'll see you on the road.
All right. Good morning. I'm Kathy Murdy, and a member of this illustrious environmental justice team. And for this morning, I'm going to read some opening words written by Barbara J. Peskin and found in our own hymnal. For the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue-green ball, yes. Gaia, the mother of everything, we walk gently across your back. We come together again in this place to remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live, welcome us. Thank you. Oh, and then I get to do the lighting of the chalice. I believe that's in your bulletin and maybe on the screen. Around us, light is returning. It rekindles the spirit of life in the skeletons of trees. It brings forth new shoots from the soil. It wakes us up like we do slumber and invites us to see what lies beyond. We light this light in the spirit of our Earth's awakening and to affirm our commitment to the value of our home. Yes.
For the responsive reading this morning,
It's the opening hymn first.
opening hymn first. We are out of sequence. I am.
If you want to rise in body or in spirit, let's sing the hymn For the Beauty of the Earth.
Now it's me. And I've lost my, oh, for goodness sakes.
It's up here.
This is called Be Prepared. The responsive reading this morning is in the hymnal 550, We Belong to the Earth. It's also on the screen. This we know, the earth does not belong to us. We belong to the earth.
This we know. All things are connected like the blood which unites our one family.
All things are connected.
Whatever befalls the earth calls the sons and daughters of the earth.
We did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves.
Now, if everyone would like to take a moment to rise and greet one another.
I'm Dennis. You're wearing a lot of hats today.
Some of them a little askew.
So, is the woman sitting next to your husband? Is the woman sitting next to your husband?
That's Miriam. That's not my dog.
Not your dog.
No, not
Okay,
my dog.
okay.
No, she's
Just
not here.
just found a good seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wasn't following you there. No, she's
Yeah.
a good gal. She's a member of the board. Of course, when you have a small congregation, it seems like almost everybody's a member of something.
Some sort of committee or something.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, no
Really
problem.
appreciate
I'm
it.
Dennis.
Dennis is
Hi,
good.
Marcy.
Thank you for
Morning.
doing this.
No problem.
You're brave. You're brave.
Yeah, we, during COVID, I'm not sure how much of it was COVID and how much of it was just natural attrition because churches losing members. We almost lost half our membership between people moving away and a few died and a few just never came back.
Didn't come back.
And but the last year, we've had almost 20 new people join.
I was gonna say it's young.
Yes, it's and with kids.
Yeah.
And so
How many people do you have regularly?
about 90.
90. So more than in attendance.
I'm sorry, so you asked your question again.
How many on YouTube?
Oh, on YouTube. No. Oh, probably 10.
Oh, okay.
10. No, we typically have between 75 and 90 in attendance.
Is it the same 10? Or?
I don't know. But I know we have some people who attend from already.
Yeah. Enjoy staying
Yeah,
connected.
making connected.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Good luck, Ken. It's like we're cast.
If the children would like to come forward, yep, that's on. If the children would like to come forward, then we'll continue. You don't have to be alone up here. I'm with you. I know. Crazy old man is not necessarily that much company. Oh, the mic is with me. I'm sorry. I appreciate that. You need to talk to my kids more often. I tell them that. So we got a great big sign over here. Ooh, everybody's coming up. This is awesome. You're not going to be the only one. So we got a great big sign up over here. What does this sign say? Just shout it out.
Our Earth is Day. Our Earth Day. I was going to say that.
Well, I just said shout it out. I said read it, and only one person read it, but that's okay. Maybe y'all read it in your head. That's okay.
I was going to read it.
So shout it out. So I got a fun little story about planets, because the Earth is a planet, right? Something we got to take care of. Maybe it's a planet? We'll talk about that downstairs.
It's not like any ordinary planet.
Okay.
It could be like a different type.
Are we talking like Marvel multiverse stuff?
I don't know what I'm saying, so
Okay.
don't blame me here.
Okay. So
So I just said.
I'm going to read you a fun little story called The Microbes and the Planet. Now, did you all know that there are trillions of tiny little organisms living in your body?
Yes.
Okay, well then we're done. You guys
I wanted to hear the story.
You want to hear the story? Okay, I'll stop with you. So
It's interesting.
So these microbes, they're little things, and they are called microbes, and they're in your body. So technically, you got tiny little things living on you and in you.
More than one.
You're like a little tiny planet, aren't you, to these microbes? Oh, I know, I just blew your mind. So, So we got Planet Dominic, full of his own ecosystem going on. All right. We got Planet Stella, with all her microbes and stuff going on. We got Planet Elsie here, who's running around like an eccentric little planet on a common orbit. Yep. So microbes are so tiny that you cannot see them or hear them or feel them or even feel them move. You know, one microbe by itself cannot do that much, but they live in your planet body and depend on you for their entire lives. But our body planet also depends on them to help us stay healthy. So if the microbes are out of balance, then you get sick. Uh-oh. Have you ever been sick before?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Should we elaborate? Have any of you guys had a fever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's going to make somebody sick.
At least the fever is not as bad as falling off the roof.
At least the fever's not as bad as falling off the roof. Sweetie, this is electrical equipment. I need to take AC. Thank you. Have any of you thrown up?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have.
But throwing up, it means there's, it means you just need rest because sometimes those microbes just need a little help sometimes.
They need a little help sometimes. They get out of balance. They get out of whack. Your body system is just not really working right. You're on the right path, aren't you?
It's
So
just what they're doing to try to get out the bad germs.
throwing up means you're getting the germs out. That's right. Now some microbes are there to protect you from bacteria that can make you sick. You know, other microbes can help you digest food, and in general, if you're healthy, you can thank all those trillions of tiny little microbes working to keep things in balance. So our bodies are like a planet, but on this planet, on planet Earth, you could also say that Earth is also like a body, right? And we people, maybe we're the microbes. We're the trillions of little microbes on the planet Earth, and the Earth is so big and we are so tiny that most of the time the Earth doesn't even know that we're there. You know, but we depend on that body, that planet Earth, for the air that we breathe. We depend on that planet Earth, that body, for the food that we eat, for the water that we drink. And just like microbes in our body, our planet also depends on us. And just like your body depends on the microbes to stay healthy and balanced, ooh boy, we can sure make planet Earth kind of sick if we do some things, can't we?
So it's not just Earth, the plus body is Earth. It goes on. So Earth is kind of like a microbe and all the other planets in our galaxy, and all the galaxies are microbes. The universe.
You're just taking it way out of step. We can stand up here all day and talk about the minusculeness or the expansiveness of everything, but I don't think these people out here want to hear us talk all day long. So we're going to yeah, we'll get to the story. Thank you very much. Resume. So you probably know that our planet Earth is not really very healthy right now, and this is because people, us, have been out of balance. Sometimes this feels like a really big problem for one little microbe like us. Our planet is so big, but together, with a lot of people working together, we can put planet Earth back in balance. We can do little things, like you said, like recycling. We can do little things like biking and walking to work instead of driving. Or to school. We could do like medium things, like going to government meetings and talking to our officials about what we think we need to do to put things back in balance. Our planet Earth is just a little sick, and each of us are the tiny microbes on it. But if we work together, we can push the balance of our planet Earth back towards healthy. Now, let's see here. So we are going to go downstairs. We're probably going to discuss a little bit more of this microbe versus galaxy stuff because I feel like that's going to be the topic today. But we've got some other things too planned. So let's head downstairs and we'll see.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Thompson, a member of Pastoral Care Team. As we gather today, we pause to reflect on what lies in our hearts. In this time of sharing, we take a moment to recognize our personal joys and sorrows and to read from the book of joys and sorrows, those personal life events you've chosen to share with us. Do we have anything online today?
I do not see any.
Thank you. We have one sorrow today from Marcy Doyle, who says, please keep my sister Muff Doyle in your thoughts and prayers as she entered hospice on Friday. And from Taryn Van Ettinger, a joyful milestone to be gainfully employed, testing an app that will help my fellow blind tabletop gamers have better accessibility. For what has been shared and for what remains in the quiet sanctuary of our hearts, we are grateful. Let us become aware of the energy that brings us together in beloved community as we share a time of silent meditation. May we open our minds and hearts to a place of quiet, to a silent prayer for the healing of pain and the comfort of love. After our silent meditation, you're invited to come forward and light a candle.
And now, if you would rise as you are willing and able, we will sing the meditation song number 3, The World Stands Out on Either Side.
Since this is unknown, I will play it through once.
Thank you. This congregation is supported by the pledges of our members and friends. The offering provides an additional opportunity for us to express our generosity by those attending today's worship. We are sharing the plate today, offering 50% this month with Quad Cities Interfaith, correct? Please be as generous as you are able. I'd like to introduce our speaker today, who is Dr. Dennis Tarasi. That's why I spelled it wrong the first time. Chair of the Biology Department and Associate Professor at St. Ambrose University. I listened to his presentation on this topic several weeks ago, and I was very excited when he agreed to bring a portion of that presentation to us today and discuss how human health is being impacted by the climate crisis, offering yet another reason for us to care about creation. Thank you, Dr. Tarasi, for joining us today.
Thanks, Lori, and thank you all for having me here. I want you to imagine this talk as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you don't like peanut butter and jelly, it can be ham and cheese or something else. We're going to do 2 pieces of bread, and then we're going to intersect them with the delicious part, okay? So care for creation at the intersection of human health and the climate crisis. My 7-year-old would want me to start at the beginning, so I will, caring for creation. As all of you know, this popular phrase really represents a 2-part call to action. First, as a recognition that we, as the species that is most dramatically changing our planet, have an obligation to consider other parts of the interdependent web of existence, to care for them.
to nurture them, to foster them. Second, that the call is not just for some creation, for the creation that we want to care for the creation that provides value to us, but every component, living, non-living, and the essential interactions between them, the processes that actually make the web work. Yes, even mosquitoes and the cicadas that are about to emerge out of the ground are an important part of that interdependent web of life. We have already seen how neglecting our charge to care for that entire web can damage long-term human health as well. The reflection this morning that discussed whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves, is absolutely on point. Now, my 7-year-old would be very disappointed because we have the beginning, and now I'm skipping all the way to the end. So we'll stay alliterative and go from care for creation to the climate crisis. As you all probably know, thanks to rising greenhouse gas concentrations and the resulting changes in atmospheric conditions, the last several decades have introduced society to some fascinating environmental terms. Derecho, polar vortex, for those who love Florida, king tide, West Nile virus, Ebola. In the last few years alone, we've even gotten more. Heat dome, atmospheric river, flash drought. Yes, that is actually an atmospheric phenomenon, not flash flood, but flash drought. And of course, COVID. Now, when I say fascinating environmental terms, please forgive me because I am a scientist and I am living in a natural experiment. That's exciting as a scientist. As a human being, however, I also understand that each of those new terms really reflects a supposed new normal that has real, measurable human cost. For some local examples, you may recall in May of 2023, a weeks-long drought led to a dramatic dust storm in Illinois. It was so dusty, hundreds of cars piled up on the interstate, killing 7 and hospitalizing 37 more. A few weeks later, the Mississippi River flooded, yet again in downtown Davenport, for the second time in 5 years, what were once called 50-year or 100-year floods. In the span of 1 week in late June and early July 2023, we saw the worst air quality ever in the Midwest, thanks to Canadian wildfires, followed by the hottest day in recorded history of the entire planet. July 3rd, 2023 set a new record for average temperature all across the planet. That new record lasted exactly 1 day, when July 4th broke that record. Here in the Quad Cities, we topped it all off this past winter with record snowfalls in a week in January 2024. What's crazy to think about all of those climate situations is that the Midwest is actually going to be one of the safest places to live. People are going to be moving here to avoid many worse outcomes that are happening not just across the world, but in the United States. Imagine that. Welcome to the Midwest. We hope you can get settled into this new place where in December of 2021, we had 61 tornadoes. But the reality is, we do have it a little bit easier. This is truly an unprecedented set of challenges facing human society, imperiling workforce availability, agricultural yields, energy grids, the transportation sector, you name it. Climate is underlying some sort of long-term impacts from an economic and a human health perspective. So we've got our 2 pieces of bread, care for creation, climate crisis. Now we get the peanut butter and jelly. The intersection with human health. Heart disease has killed more Americans since 2000 than any other cause. Yes, even COVID. COVID won for 2 years. Heart disease actually won in 2023 again. This corroborates a stereotype we know all too well here in the United States of a long-lived, sedentary lifestyle with too much cholesterol in the diet. Contrast that with the developing world, where not heart disease, but malaria, waterborne diarrheal infections, and HIV and AIDS remain leading causes of mortality. There are many reasons for this enormous disparity, including geography, healthcare infrastructure, historical global colonialism, and educational investment. More locally, when the derecho and recent floods hit, an overwhelming disparity arose here in the Quad Cities and across the Midwest between those demographics that had purchased the appropriate insurance, 95% of the population, and those without the means, or more often the appropriate social connections, to determine and then acquire appropriate coverage before disaster struck. All of these examples related to human health reflect that concept of environmental justice. It should be no surprise to say different groups of people are affected in different ways by the exact same set of circumstances. The nature of the disaster, the policy decisions made ahead of time and in response, and underlying sociological challenges. Some groups bear a disproportionate amount of harm in response to those outcomes, while others, like myself, are generally less affected. This is a social problem. It's not necessarily an environmental problem, but it does end up impacting everyone across the social spectrum. Really leaning into solving environmental justice concerns requires intentional policy change. It requires action. It demands first a recognition that NIMBYism and deciding to absorb external costs in purchasing consumeristic goods can be very beneficial to oneself in the short term, particularly in a capitalistic economy that incentivizes that short-term thinking. But those same decisions can lead to direct and measurable harms for other, less powerful members of society and other less powerful societies in the world. That's challenging. That's complicated. It requires a level of awareness of the other that's not incentivized in modern society. It requires a sacrifice to extend beyond the self, beyond the family, beyond even the neighborhood or the local community, to those one doesn't see every day, to those one may not see in their entire life, particularly when we start considering climate justice and concerns facing the global south. And then, true environmental justice requires intentional sacrifice for the betterment of that other. Lifestyle change that would be difficult for an abstract outcome we personally would never see. That's complicated. That's difficult. My colleague at St. Ambrose, Father Bud Grant, suggests that environmental justice can only be achieved with what he calls a redistribution of suffering. That's not a very good sales pitch. I hear those words, I agree with them, and gosh, Starbucks is delicious, right? So it's not a good sales pitch, but it is effective. For true change to really address some of these challenges, those most responsible for the harms have to shoulder some of the burden as well. In all of the din of the climate grief, think about how you reacted to all of those words I said at the very beginning here. The 24/7 media news cycle and our general desensitization, because there's always information coming at us. It is really, really critical to note at this intersection of caring for creation and climate crisis, individual action can make a difference. Don't believe me? 10 years ago, no one knew the name Greta Thunberg. You want to know why everybody knows her now? because she skipped school. There's one kid here, don't skip school. All the other kids are downstairs, they didn't hear it, okay? But she took an action that drew attention and has now spurred a movement of global climate strikes, youth involvement, people engaging with these initiatives to think beyond themselves. It doesn't have to be at that scale. Okay? Small individual changes, as Lori mentioned earlier, can make a substantial lasting difference. Opting for plant-based diets, or even just meatless Mondays, reduces the environmental impact, improves overall cardiovascular health, and sets an example for others to consider in their own lives. Carpooling strengthens social bonds while also reducing emissions. Growing one's own produce is healthier while providing a cathartic outlet and appreciation for nature in a new fashion. Yes, even with spider mites, aphids, and the impending cicadas. So there is individual action that we can choose to make. But in reality, a true redistribution of suffering requires collective action. It requires societal change. And as a result, it requires leadership at municipal, state, federal, and international levels. Some of our government leaders have made significant progress in this space. Certainly at the international level, we've seen great strides from the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Its annual conference, COP, which discusses climate policy and emissions reductions. For the first time last year, it actually started to consider climate justice ameliorations, developed nations paying developing nations for the harms that their decisions have caused. Non-governmental organizations such as the Nature Conservancy, Doctors Without Borders, and the Catholic Church, via Pope Francis's 2015 encyclical, Laudato Si, among so many others, have brought environmental justice challenges to the fore of societal discourse. The Endangered Species Act, the Clean Air Act, and the Clean Water Act here in the United States have all brought collective benefit to our interdependent web of existence, while, of course, improving public health outcomes for all in society as well. More locally, Mid-American Energy's continued investment in consistent, cost-effective renewable energy means that in 2023, fully 100% of Eastern Iowa's electrical demands was met by a sustainable technology resource. That number was up from less than 40% just 5 years ago. Mid-American is not perfect, but it is important to recognize that whether they like it or not, consumers in Eastern Iowa, on a per capita basis, are becoming more sustainable every single day. One infrastructure change at a time. And that provides reliable, beneficial outcomes for individuals all across the societal spectrum. A rising tide truly does lift all boats, especially with the long-term impacts of that thoughtful environmental action and social support systems. But still, there is and always will be more work to be done. Despite our ongoing and impending climate crisis, hope springs eternal. Societies throughout history have heeded countless calls to action before, effectively reshaping our futures into a reality that now sustains more people in higher population densities for longer lifespans and higher quality of life than we have ever done so before. Technological innovations have literally made impossible dreams possible across the span of decades, centuries, millennia. We do face an unprecedented challenge, one of our own causing, and one that will require collective action for the abstract benefit of others. Others we will most likely never meet. But we do have the tools, the technology, and most importantly, the drive to find a way together. There does remain hope, even in the face of an impending climate crisis that is sure to change every single person's life on this planet. That hope lies in a commitment to justice and the benefit of all over that of the self. Countless economic studies have supported that economic benefits arise from environmental justice policies. Decisions to protect all members of society, especially those most in need, lead to fewer missed days of work, fewer missed days of school, more economic activity and purchasing power for those most likely to spend every single dollar that they can. And as a result, increased property values, increased economic activity, long-term deduction in social tax burdens. That commitment to justice and the benefit of all over that of the self can lead to a more promising future. It will be hard. It will be challenging. It will require significant change from all of us, but it can be done. I remain, in the face of all of the scientific data, optimistic that we will figure it out. We may not figure it out as quickly as I would hope, but we will figure it out. I leave you with 2 quotes today to distill my message. The first is from my employer's namesake, Ambrose of Milan. Great then is the glory of justice, for she, existing rather for the good of others than of self, is an aid to the bonds of union and fellowship among us. She holds so high a place that she has all things laid under her authority, and further can bring help to others and supply money. Nor does she refuse her services, but even undergoes dangers for others. The second is from an inspirational world leader, John F. Kennedy. When written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of 2 characters. One of those characters represents danger. The other character represents opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dennis. That was a really great presentation. Now, if you would rise in body and or spirit, I believe we're going to sing our closing hymn, number 207, Earth Was Given as a Garden.
Discovery.
may be seated. By the way, your order of service mentions that Cynthia Loudon was going to do this portion of the service, and I should have mentioned this during Joys and Sorrows. Cynthia's father took a bad fall last week, and she remained in Austin longer than she anticipated, so that's why she's not with us today. We will now extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not like the truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing words today are a prayer for climate justice by Reverend Kelly Dignan, adapted. In the presence of the boundless mysteries of the cosmos, we gather in deep gratitude and awe. We give thanks for the unfolding wonders of the natural world, the intricate dance of ecosystems, the resilience of life, and the profound interconnectedness that weaves through the tapestry of existence. As we marvel at the grandeur of the universe, we humbly recognize our place within this cosmic symphony. Grant us the wisdom to embrace a deep love and reverence for Earth, our shared home. We acknowledge the urgent call for Earth care and climate justice. Help us imagine a future of flourishing for all. Align our actions with the rhythms of nature and the principles of justice. Grant us the courage to confront the challenges of our time with compassion, seeking justice for those most affected by environmental degradation. In this shared journey, may we be guided by love and the sacred energy that unites us all. May we embody the principles of care, gratitude, and a profound love for the intricate web of life. May it be so. Well, you're welcome to join us for coffee downstairs.
Thank you.
Or you can take.
Yeah, Megan was And it's okay that I'm missing the beginning. So she was like, so Michaela is 7 and then Dylan turns 4 next month.
I've got 2 grandkids. They're 2 and 4.
Okay, yeah.
So it's so much fun.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the 3-year-old trip goes off to kindergarten next week.
Yeah, it's so funny. Michaela rents a bus to school, so we usually and Dylan doesn't want to go to school, but